You are not unmotivated. Your body is exhausted from carrying the pain that you haven't dealt with. And your life isn't chaotic because you're failing. It is chaotic because your nervous system is overwhelmed and you are not stuck. You are in survival. And that's what dysregulated nervous system does. It put you in survival. It makes your life chaotic. It makes you feel exhausted. And this is why I'm going to share with you how to actually heal your nervous system and regulate your nervous system so that you can experience the life that you've always desired. And if you learn to regulate your nervous system, everything in your life, your money, your relationship, your self worth, every single thing will change completely and permanently. And this is why it is so important to understand how to regulate and how to heal your nervous system. I want to share with you how the nervous system gets dysregulated. There's different layers to it. So one part is where we experience traumatic events. That's when the nervous system gets dysregulated, where the body doesn't feel safe and it feels unsafe. So it needs to protect itself. And that's where the dysregulation comes from, in order to feel safer, in order to not experience that type of event ever again. And that's where the dysregulation comes through. But there are other levels of dysregulation where the generational trauma that our ancestry may have experienced, we may carry certain beliefs that may dysregulate our nervous system. So if our ancestry, our generational beliefs are not safe to have a lot of money within our DNA, within our cellular system, we may have beliefs around money equal danger or too much money equal danger. We may have certain dysregulation around that. So we may push a lot of money away. We may not want to go for bigger opportunity, or we may not want to be seen or be visible because there are certain beliefs in our ancestral consciousness around visibility equal danger or too much money equal danger. Therefore, I don't want that. I don't want to experience it. So therefore, we are going to reject it and sabotage it. So that is another level of dysregulation within our body. And another level to that is the society we live in, the consciousness we live in, what media has trained us, how we were conditioned through our environment, our society, the media, the things we watch, we listen, we see. That can create certain feeling and fear that can make our nervous system dysregulated. For example, if we lived in an environment where there were a lot of threats and we experience a lot of external threats in the environment, then our nervous system will be dysregulated. If we believe then there's lack of money in the world, where we are going through recession and everything is becoming expensive and money is going down and we are going to lose our jobs and all of that, that conditioning can dysregulate the nervous system. So there are different levels. First is our own experiences through trauma, through challenges, through difficulties. The second level is our generational, what our generation, our ancestors went through. The third level is the societal conditioning, the environment we grew up in. That can have certain threat. For example, for me, I grew up in an environment where I was told as a woman, I need to be shy. I cannot speak up. And men are dangerous. Therefore, I have to stay away from men. So that was the conditioning of my environment, the way I was trained growing up. And the society I lived in, that was the training that was given. That was the conditioning. So for me growing up, I was extremely shy. I was extremely worried around, I felt deep fear around men, that it's dangerous to be around men. There was unsafety that I felt in my body when I was around men. So when I walked on the road, I felt this unsafety in my body. So that is a dysregulation. So we have to really think about where we came from, what condition we lived in, what environment we lived in, what was the societal conditioning, what was the media and people and the government, what they taught us, what kind of belief system they held. That can impact our own conditioning, that impacts our nervous system. So we have to be aware that there's a different layers to this. And this is why it is so important to heal and regulate your nervous system, because all of those conditioning are dictating your decisions in life, what you choose, how you live, how you operate in the world. Because if someone is taught that it is recession and everyone is losing job, guess what they are going to choose in the world, what kind of job they're going to choose. Because there's not enough job, and because there's recession, and because the economy is going down, and because it's so expensive, then I'm going to choose a job maybe that is just going to get me by, because there's no job. That is the conditioning. So that person will choose a lower paying job because they believe that there are no job. They believe, they've been conditioned that there are not enough money and everything is expensive. So they will satisfy themselves with a lower income, because they will believe that it's at least I have a job, right? Even if it's a low income, at least I have a job. So that is the pattern, that is the safety mechanism that is playing within ourselves when we are conditioned in that way. This is why it is so important to shift our consciousness so that we can regulate our nervous system, so that we are aware that everything that we attract in our life are based on the consciousness and the conditioning we had. And the deeper truth is we can change the consciousness and we can change the conditioning in order to have more, in order to attract more, and in order to be more, in order to be highly successful. Because someone who has a different conditioning, exactly the same scenario where people are being told that there are not enough job and they can lose their job and economy is bad, someone who is in a higher consciousness, who is feeling safe, who has a regulated nervous system, they will operate from a level that, no, I'm worthy of making a lot of money. Regardless of the condition, I'm worthy of having so much more. I'm worthy of attracting so much more. Therefore, they will become the magnet to attract more, and they will become the magnet to have more, because their conditioning, they've changed their conditioning, they changed their consciousness. So we may live in the same world as that person, but this person will choose different. This person will choose higher pay. This person will go for bigger opportunity, regardless of what the environment is saying. This is where the consciousness and the conditioning really helps when it comes to regulating our nervous system. We have to start changing the way we see the world, because when we change the way we see the world changes to match our reality, match our conditioning. That is the power of the consciousness and the shift in the consciousness. So that is what we are dealing with. So how does that show up in your life? How do you know that you are operating from dysregulated place? So you are operating from a dysregulated place if you feel that if I share my truth, if I speak, if I share my true emotions, people will reject me. People will not hear me. People will invalidate me. So when we are afraid of sharing our true emotions, how we truly feel, and we fear that we might not be accepted for our truth or our emotions, we are operating from a dysregulated place. If we are feeling, and I don't know if you felt that, and if you let me know in comments if you have, when we feel that people may be talking badly about me, people may be saying bad things about me, or people do not like me, that is a dysregulated nervous system, that we are feeling unsafe. So this is why the isolation feels safer. Being alone feels safer because there's a fear of rejection. There's fear of abandonment. There's a fear that if too many people know me, they might talk behind my back and say things about me, and which is not true. They don't know me, and they may misunderstand me because they don't see the truth in me. Therefore, they would not like me because they are creating their own stories about me. Right? That is a dysregulated nervous system. That happens when we operate from trauma. We are not operating from love. We are not operating from peace. We are not operating from self-worth. We are operating from trauma. When we believe people dislike me, people talk behind my back, people will not accept me, people will reject me. So we find safety in being alone. So that comes from a dysregulated place. It does not come from a healthy place. It does not come from a regulated nervous system. Another sign is you're operating from a dysregulated place is that you want to please other. You are a people pleaser. If people are not happy with you, that makes you unhappy. That makes you question yourself. That makes you feel guilty. That makes you feel that you've done something wrong, and you start blaming yourself, and you feel like it's your fault that other person is not happy and they are sad or they are unhappy with you. Then you make more effort to make them happy. You try harder and you push yourself more. And that is a dysregulated nervous system. When we go above and beyond for someone else, but we do not go above and beyond for ourselves. We are operating from dysregulated place. And also when you are attracting chaos, when you are choosing chaos, when you're going to places that create more chaos, and you feel that you can fix people, you feel that you can help them, you can change them, you feel that I'm strong enough to go through the most challenging situation, that is a dysregulation. Because when we choose chaotic places, chaotic people, chaotic environment, chaotic workplaces, we are operating from dysregulated place, and we think that we are strong enough to handle it. I'm strong enough to deal with this. I'm strong enough to do this. But why do we want to do that? Why do we want to put ourselves in fire? And I've done that all my life. I put myself in fire all the time, that I am strong enough to deal with this. I am so strong, I can deal with anything and everything. And just to prove myself that I am strong enough, I would put myself in situations that are so chaotic, that are so toxic, that are so challenging, just to prove myself that I can come out of it stronger. So I would do that unconsciously. I would always choose most challenging places, most challenging work environments, and I would put myself in situations that are the most difficult situations. And then I would come out of those situations because I need to prove myself that I'm strong enough. Imagine how much dysregulation I was operating with when I put myself in these situations. Because somebody who is operating from healthy place, operating from regulated nervous system, they would never choose chaotic place. They would say that this isn't for me. They would leave that environment as soon as they see something going wrong. And that is the sign of a healthy relationship with ourselves, healthy and regulated nervous system, where we choose safety. We don't choose chaos. And if you are choosing chaos instead of safety, then you are operating from dysregulated nervous system. Just to prove ourselves, we are worthy to have what we desire. We can fix people, we can help people, we can heal people, and we can take the most challenging person and we can change that person. Imagine how much dysregulation it creates in our nervous system when we are handling chaos, when we are handling challenging people, when we are handling challenging workplace. How much dysregulation that creates in our body. How unsafe we feel in our body when we face that chaos. We don't realize because we are used to chaos. We are used to pain. We are used to challenge. And that's the life I came from. I came from a lot of dysfunction, so I chose dysfunction. So I want you to be aware, are you choosing dysfunction by thinking that you can overcome it, by thinking that you are strong enough to deal with it? Because people who are empathic, people who are giver, people who are people pleaser, they fight the biggest battles silently. They go through most challenges silently. Other people don't even know what we go through, because that we are dealing with from the inside, from our mind, from our soul, from our emotion, from our nervous system. We are battling that. People don't know that. So be very aware what you're choosing. Are you choosing chaos? Are you battling on a daily basis? And if you are battling on a daily basis, then you are operating from a dysregulated place. Because when we are healthy, when we are in a healthy place emotionally, mentally, spiritually, energetically, we choose safety. We choose calm. We choose peace. We choose ease. And when we are in a dysregulated place, we choose chaos, we choose pain, we choose challenges. So become very aware what you are choosing. So how do we heal? How do we regulate our nervous system? So there are different ways. Actually, permanently healing our nervous system require deep-rooted work. Where is it coming from? Why are we choosing unsafety? Why are we choosing chaos? Why we are choosing difficult situation, toxic, manipulative environments? Why are we choosing that? So it comes from a very deep place. So for that, if you know that I do very deep healing work with my clients, where we actually release that permanently, release it from the root, create that safety within our body, because our body requires safety. It needs to feel safe in order to create that regulation in nervous system. So if we want to shift it permanently, we need to do the deeper work to change that permanently and shift our frequency to operate from a wealthy, healthy, peaceful place. But if you want to know how to begin that journey, then I would say that you must really know and become aware and become conscious. Every decision that you are making in your life, is it coming from a place of safety, or is it coming from a place of chaos? Because we need to consciously think about, is it safe for my body? I want you to start asking, is it safe for my body to experience that? And if the answer is no, then don't choose that, really. Because as I went through my own journey, I had to really think. I used to push myself to work so hard until I am bone tired. So I would overexhaust myself. I would work so hard. So when I went through my journey, the little practices that I started with was, is it safe for my body to push to do even more? So if I am tired, and if I have 10 things to do, and if I, after 7 things or after 5 things, I'm feeling tired and exhausted, I ask myself, is it safe for my body to do another task or another thing? And if it feels not safe, it feels like it's too exhausting, then I rest. I let go. I allow myself to rest. So that's one thing I want you to know. Allow yourself to rest. Your body needs to learn to rest, because that's where we find the calm and peace. To learn how to rest, how to find peace, how to create that safety within ourselves, that I am choosing rest. Most people who are operating from dysregulated place, they never choose rest. They choose more work. They keep doing the work. They keep doing the work until they are exhausted or until they are sick. They keep working. So now consciously choosing rest would allow your body to calm your nervous system. And we have to understand that if we want to have abundant life, we cannot operate from a dysregulated nervous system. We must create the safety, and body needs to know it is safe for it to experience what we want to experience. It is safe to have the money. It is safe to have the love. It is safe to have the abundance. It is safe to have the peace, because body needs to know that. And if body is unfamiliar with peace, unfamiliar with love, unfamiliar with abundance and money, it will sabotage it, it will push it away, it will reject it. This is why it is important to do the deeper work. But aside from resting and allowing yourself to consciously rest, you must find a stillness within. You must create moment of a stillness for your body to feel calm, for your body to feel peace, and doing things from ease and slow. Instead of rush, slow it down, bring it down, make it slower for your body. Because when we are slowing down, we are becoming more conscious. We are more coming back to ourselves. We are connecting consciously with our body. So if you are someone who's already always rushing, always trying to do faster and faster and faster, that is a dysregulated nervous system. Come back to yourself, slow it down, make it easy, make it simpler. Wake up earlier if you need to slow things down in your life. Journal, meditate, just feel like you are taking things slower, living a slower life can regulate your nervous system. So that's what I started. I started when I was working for corporate jobs. I used to wake up earlier. I used to have time. I would never rush. Never ever rush. Rushing would overwhelm me. Rushing would dysregulate me. So I would wake up early. I would start my morning easy. I would meditate. I would do yoga. I would really take it slow. And then I would begin my work. I would leave for work earlier to not rush, and I would take it slow to really regulate me. Because when we start choosing ourselves, we have to choose everything that works for us. And if that means we have to slow it down, then we slow it down, we tone it down, we allow our nervous system to feel safer. That's one of the first steps you have to start taking in order to regulate your nervous system, because your nervous system needs space. Your body needs space to create calmness, to create ease, to create love, to create peace. That's where we start. And when we start creating that space within ourselves, the emotions comes up. So if we feel anger, if we feel frustration, if we feel sadness, instead of shutting it down, instead of watching Netflix, instead of watching YouTube, you sit with yourself. And that's another way of regulating. You sit with the emotion that you are feeling. So if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling frustrated, if you're feeling sad, sit with that sadness, sit with that anger. And really, through your mind's eye, really face that sadness, face that anger, and allow that too to come through. Make that anger to feel that they are welcome. Make that sadness to feel they are welcome, because your emotion needs to feel that they are welcome to be expressed. Because most people shut it down, most people suppress, and most people feel like they are not allowed to express their anger, their emotions, their sadness. They suppress it because they have to deal with too many things in life. They're too busy to deal with anger. They're too busy to deal with sadness. And when we keep moving in that way, we are operating from dysregulated place. We need to sit with our emotions. We need to. So allow that anger to show up and see it and feel it and acknowledge it, that I see you, I feel you, I acknowledge you, and I allow you to be expressed. And sometimes that anger comes through tears, that sadness, that emotions, because anger is ultimately is sadness. If we look deeper within the anger, there's sadness. It's deep sadness. That anger is just the front, but there's a deeper layer to it that is sadness. So anger, when it's expressed, when it's seen, when it's acknowledged, the tears comes up because it never been seen. So allow yourself to express, allow yourself to sit with your anger, sadness, feeling, grief, shame, guilt. Sit with it, express yourself and see it, and allow your body to release it. And when you do these practices, these rituals, your body is releasing all this suppressed emotion. And when we suppress emotion, we also suppress energetically. So make sure that you are processing that in order to regulate your nervous system. And it is so important. And we are not just regulating nervous system just for emotion, for emotional freedom. We are also regulating our nervous system for financial freedom, to be bigger, because we cannot be bigger energetically, emotionally. We cannot create abundance if our body is dysregulated, if it is feeling unsafe. It needs to have the capacity. If you struggle with compliments, just realize you are not open to receive abundance, because abundance requires you to feel worthy. So if you don't feel safe to receive a compliment, you are not safe to receive abundance. So don't be surprised if you reject unconsciously money, if you reject opportunities, if you are not receiving a lot of money, because abundance comes from worthiness. We need to be able to feel worthy of receiving. And another thing is help. If you're rejecting help, if you're not allowing help in your life, if you're feeling that, no, I can do everything, I am able to do everything, I am not going to allow anybody to help me because I can do better. I know how to do things. Other people don't know how to do things. I know. That is a dysregulated place. That is we operating from trauma, when we feel we don't want anybody to help us. Nobody can do better than us. We know how to. We are perfectionists. We know how to do things. That is a dysregulated place. So really understand that in order to shift yourself and heal your nervous system, you need to do all those practices of stillness, of peace, of ease, and having that slow practices to allow yourself to ease into things that you need to do, and really knowing that and saying no to things that feel unsafe. So really understand and having the boundaries to say no, and feeling safe saying no, allowing yourself to connect to yourself, really listening to yourself, really understanding what feels safe for me, what feels healthy for me, what feels easy for me, what makes me feel easy, what feels effortless for me. Doing those things rather than doing harder things, because the truth is the life doesn't change when you try harder. The life changes when your body feels safer. Your body needs to feel safe in order to have more money, in order to receive love, in order to have freedom and have peace. Your body needs to learn to feel safe having those things. So, if you are ready to shift your life and embody the version that is operating in wealth, operating in ease, operating in peace, then you can click the link below to apply for my mentoring, because that's what I do with my clients, to shift their consciousness, to regulate their nervous system, to operate from a level of wealth and abundance, to receive more and to be open to receive more. And if you are ready for that, I invite you to click the link below to apply for my mentoring. Other than that, like this video if you like this video, and subscribe to my channel. And may the light in me reaches the light in you.